Throughout history, certain books have inspired more than just fear. They have become symbols of forbidden knowledge and dark power. Among the most feared are the Necronomicon, the Book of Abramelin, and the Grimoire of Honorius. These grimoires are shrouded in mystery and lore. Each reputed to hold dangerous secrets that continue to captivate and terrify. Join us as we delve into the enigmatic depths of three of the most feared books in existence. The Necronomicon. The American author H.P. Lovecraft is largely responsible for the fame of the Necronomicon. In the early 1900s, Lovecraft's work helped create a new type of horror fiction. Lovecraft made up the Necronomicon as a made-up grimoire for his huge Cthulhu mythos world, which is full of cosmic horror and eldritch beings. Lovecraft's creation of the book was not just a small part of his stories. It was a central part of his lore and a big part of the world he made up. Lovecraft says that the book, the Necronomicon, was written by a mystery Arab scholar named Abdul al-Hazred in the 8th century. Al-Hazred, who was sometimes called the Mad Arab, was pictured as someone who was crazy about learning about the past and scary things that happened in space. Lovecraft said that the book had strange rituals and harmful information in it that could reveal the scary truths of the universe and drive people crazy if they read it too carefully. The claimed history and content of the book were told with so much detail and authenticity that for many readers, it was hard to tell the difference between fiction and reality. Lovecraft had an effect on the Necronomicon that went beyond his own works. Throughout his stories, he often talked about the book and used it as a way to connect his imaginary worlds. This consistent description helped make the book seem like a myth in Lovecraft's works. Some stories, like The Dunwich Horror and At the Mountains of Madness, talk about the Necronomicon as a place where characters can find illegal information that makes them go crazy or causes terrible things to happen. Lovecraft's detailed descriptions of the book and its frequent appearances in his work helped to make it a core part of his cosmic horror mythos. Even though it started out as a story, the Necronomicon has led many people to try to make or claim a real copy of the book. Lovecraft's detailed descriptions and the mythology around the Necronomicon were so interesting that some readers and occultists became sure that the book really existed. Because of this interest, many people have tried to make real copies or find things in the real world that are like Lovecraft's creation. Simon, who wrote a book called The Necronomicon in the early 1970s, is known for trying to bring the Necronomicon to life. This book said it was a real copy of Lovecraft's grimoire, with a long history and what it said was ancient information. Simon's version of the Necronomicon was sold as a real occult book, with spells and practices that were said to be similar to those in Lovecraft's work. Simon's book didn't really feel like fantasy, but it did have an air of reality that made it more appealing. The book became famous among people interested in the occult and Lovecraft's mythos, which added to the mystery surrounding the Necronomicon. In Lovecraft's stories, the Necronomicon is a book that is full of dark and forbidden information. It has rites and spells that can call on cosmic beings and reveal secrets from other worlds. Lovecraft said that people who read it were deeply disturbed, and that it often drove them crazy or hopeless. According to Lovecraft, the book contains many occult practices, forbidden spells, and descriptions of evil beings from the past that are beyond human understanding. Cthulhu and Yog-Sothoth are two of the most well-known beings linked to the Necronomicon. One of the main characters in Lovecraft's stories is Cthulhu, who is often shown as a huge, squid-like creature with a scary, bat-like face. Lovecraft says that Cthulhu is sleeping under the ocean in the city of R'lyeh. waiting for the right time to rise again and cause chaos in the world. People say that the thing has a slight but deep effect on their minds, often making them dream that it's there and driving them crazy. Another important being named in the Necronomicon is Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is portrayed as a cosmic being that knows everything and exists outside of time and space. He is said to have a lot of scary information that humans can't understand. According to the story, it can see everything at the same time, which makes it both an all-knowing and evil force. People often connect the thing with the idea of cosmic indifference, which says that our problems are small in comparison to the size of the world. Modern horror literature and occult stories have been changed a lot by the Necronomicon. Many writers, filmmakers, and artists have been moved by Lovecraft's work, which has helped the cosmic horror genre grow. The book's idea of forbidden information and its link to evil, ancient beings has spread through popular culture and affected many forms of media, such as movies, video games, and literature. In scary stories, the Necronomicon has come to mean dark and forbidden information. Works that deal with similar themes of cosmic horror and the risks of finding out hidden facts are influenced by it. The book's influence can also be seen in the occult, where it has led to real-life magical practices and made-up grimoires that try to capture the book's dark and mysterious atmosphere. People are afraid of the Necronomicon because it is linked to madness and forbidden information. According to Lovecraft, the book contained deep and dangerous facts that could destroy people's ability to understand and send them crazy. The book is even more mysterious and scary when you think about how its contents could cause terrible things to happen. The idea that just coming across or trying to use the book's practices could lead to bad things is one of the things that keeps people interested in and afraid of the Necronomicon. Even though it started out as a work of fantasy, the Necronomicon continues to fascinate and scare people. Its impact on horror fiction and its part in forming modern ideas of banned texts make it a strong representation of the dark and the unknown. The book has a lasting legacy because it has had an effect on modern society, and people are still interested in Lovecraft's universe. The book has remained one of the most feared and mysterious works in history, with people trying to find real-life parallels and people being interested in its stories. The Book of Abramelin. The Book of Abramelin is a significant and enigmatic grimoire within the realm of ceremonial magic, reputed for its complex rituals and intricate instructions for invoking supernatural entities. The book's origins and historical context are deeply intertwined with its creator, Abramelin the Mage, and its transmission through history has contributed to its mystique and continued influence in occult practices. Abramelin the Mage, the purported author of the grimoire, is a somewhat mysterious figure whose historical identity remains shrouded in obscurity. The grimoire is attributed to a Jewish magician named Abramelin, who was believed to have lived during the 14th or 15th century. According to the text, Abramelin was a learned mage with profound knowledge of mystical and magical arts. The grimoire, known as the Book of Abramelin, is said to be a record of his teachings and magical practices, which were intended to be passed down through generations. The manuscript's origins trace back to the early 15th century, with the earliest known version being in Hebrew. The book's transmission through history reveals its gradual influence on Western occult traditions. It was first translated into Latin by the famous scholar and occultist Abraham von Worms in the 19th century. Von Worms, a significant figure in the development of modern ceremonial magic, was instrumental in bringing the text to a broader audience. His translation was crucial in shaping the modern understanding of the Book of Abramelin and its role in occult practices. The content of the Book of Abramelin is known for its detailed and elaborate instructions on performing rituals and invoking supernatural entities. The grimoire is divided into several sections, with a focus on the Abramelin operation, a complex ritual intended to invoke one's guardian angel and gain control over demons. This operation is central to the book's teachings and is described with intricate detail, outlining a rigorous process for achieving spiritual and magical goals. The Abramelin operation is perhaps the most well-known and feared aspect of the grimoire. The ritual involves a period of intense preparation and purification, followed by a series of invocations and ceremonies aimed at contacting one's guardian angel. According to the text, this guardian angel serves as a mediator between the practitioner and the spiritual realm, providing guidance and protection. The operation also includes rituals for summoning and controlling demons, which are believed to be necessary for achieving one's magical objectives. The ritual's significance lies in its emphasis on the practitioner's spiritual development and the mastery of supernatural forces. The Abramelin operation is designed to be performed over a period of 6 months, during which the practitioner must adhere to a strict regimen of prayer, meditation, and magical work. The goal is to establish a connection with the guardian angel and gain control over demonic entities, enabling the practitioner to achieve their desired outcomes. The fear surrounding the Book of Abramelin is largely attributed to the complexity and potential dangers associated with its rituals. The book's reputation for bringing about disastrous outcomes if misused is well documented, with many occult practitioners cautioning against attempting the Abramelin operation without proper preparation and guidance. The intricate nature of the rituals and the potential risks involved in invoking supernatural entities contribute to the book's fearsome reputation. One of the primary reasons for the book's fearfulness is the rigorous and demanding nature of the Abramelin operation. The ritual requires a high level of dedication and discipline, and any deviation from the prescribed practices can result in failure or adverse consequences. The process of summoning and controlling demons is particularly fraught with danger, as the entities involved are believed to possess significant power and malevolence. The book's emphasis on the potential risks and the need for caution further contributes to its reputation as a dangerous and formidable text. Despite its reputation for danger, the Book of Abramelin has had a significant influence on later occult practices and the development of ceremonial magic. The grimoire's teachings and rituals have inspired numerous practitioners and scholars, shaping the modern understanding of magical traditions. The book's emphasis on the importance of spiritual preparation and the mastery of supernatural forces has influenced the development of various magical systems and practices. The influence of the Book of Abramelin can be seen in the work of prominent occultists and ceremonial magicians who have incorporated its teachings into their practices. The book's impact on Western esotericism and its role in shaping modern magical traditions underscore its significance within the realm of occultism. Its place in the modern understanding of ceremonial magic reflects its enduring relevance and the continued fascination with its teachings. In summary, the Book of Abramelin remains a significant and influential grimoire in the world of ceremonial magic. Its origins, content, and impact on later occult practices highlight its importance in the history of magical traditions. The book's complex rituals and potential dangers contribute to its reputation as one of the most feared and revered texts in occult literature. Its continued influence on modern magical practices and its role in shaping the understanding of ceremonial magic underscore its enduring legacy and the fascination it continues to inspire. The Grimoire of Honorius. The Grimoire of Honorius is an interesting and difficult work in the field of occult writing. It is famous for its detailed rituals and links to the powerful practice of calling on and controlling supernatural beings. The grimoire's history, contents, and impact give us an interesting look into its part in larger magical traditions and the reasons for its scary image. Pope Honorius III is said to have written the Grimoire, but how involved he really was with the writing is a question of much debate and confusion. During his time as Pope, from 1234 to 1233, Pope Honorius III was a well-known religious leader who is remembered for his work to keep the Catholic Church united. On the other hand, there isn't much historical proof to suggest that he was directly involved in writing occult texts. The idea that he wrote the Grimoire is probably more symbolic than true. This is common in occult writing, where famous people were given authorship roles to give books a sense of authority and mystery. It's just as interesting to learn about where the text came from and how it has been changed and edited over time. The Grimoire was first made in the early 1600s, a time when people were interested in witchcraft again, and many grimoires were made. Over the centuries, the text has been released in many different editions. Each edition has helped the rituals and spells become better known and used. Different editions of the manuscript show how its role in occult practices has changed over time. Early copies of the Grimoire were mostly passed around by hand. As the interest in occult literature grew, later editions were printed. With each new version, the Grimoire became easier to find and had a bigger impact, solidifying its place in the pantheon of occult texts. Content and themes. The Grimoire of Honorius is famous for having very detailed directions
Naturom Demonto.
on how to do rituals and spells. A lot of these are meant to call on and control demons. There are several parts to the Grimoire, and each one is about a different element of magic. Rituals in the book are complicated and often need to be done in a very specific way to get the results that are wanted. The Grimoire has full descriptions of many rituals, some of which can be used to call on demons and tell them to do certain things.
What have we done?
A lot of the time, these practices are very complicated and include long ceremonies, specific prayers, and the use of many magical objects and signs. The Grimoire explains each rite step by step, stressing how important it is to do things exactly as written to avoid failure or unintended results. One thing that makes the Grimoire of Honorius
Oh, listen to this. Only a circle of salt can protect thy victims from thy power.
stand out is that it stresses the use of holy objects and following strict rules during rites. There are certain things that must be used, like ritual knives, candles, and ceremonial robes, and the text goes into great length about how to make these things holy before they are used. The Grimoire's focus on ritual planning shows how serious it is about getting accurate and strong results. There are rituals in the Grimoire, but it also has many spells for different reasons, such as protection, divination, and controlling supernatural forces. There are clear instructions on how to do these spells, and they should only be used with certain purposes and in certain situations. Along with rituals, the Grimoire includes spells, which shows that it covers a wide range of magical practices and stresses the importance of using both rites and spells to get what you want. Fear and fascination. Fear of the Grimoire of Honorius comes from its reputation for containing dangerous practices and the possible risks of calling on and managing evil spirits. The scary reputation of the Grimoire comes from its detailed directions on how to interact with demons. This is because calling on and controlling demons is usually a dangerous and harmful process. People think the practices in the Grimoire are dangerous because they are hard to do, and bad things could happen if they fail. The act of calling on demons is particularly feared. because these beings are thought to be powerful and evil. The grimoire's directions on how to control demons stress how important it is to be careful and keep control over these supernatural forces so bad things don't happen. The Grimoire of Honorius has had a big effect on culture because it changed many magical practices and helped people learn more about ritual magic. A lot of occultists and ceremonial magicians have based their work on the grimoire's focus on in-depth rites and controlling supernatural forces. The text's impact on the growth of Western occult traditions shows how important it is in the history of magical writing and how relevant it is still in modern occult practices. It's important to look at the grimoire in the bigger picture of grimoires and ritual magic because it shows how complicated and dangerous magical practices can be. Later magical practices were shaped by it, and our understanding of ritual magic changed because of it. This shows how important and interesting it is even today.